This is a first things first segment. April 6th. Nick Wright's quarterback tiers. Nick Wright. I don't know who he is. I respect him what these guys do. But if I disagree with someone, I mean I'm hating on him. I'm just analyzing the video. He basically had GOAT status, superstars, too old, too young, serviceable, and then I think he had something like he had another category Brady was in, but I'll get to it. But here it is. I'll talk about it. I already ranked my quarterbacks top 10 after the season and everything. Can't just look at stats though and do it. But here it is.
It speaks for himself. He's the best quarterback in the league by a very
I'm talking about Mahomes.
wide margin. He's arguably the most talented quarterback to ever play. He's the defending Super Bowl MVP and champion. That's why he's by himself. That next tier are your 5 next best guys. That is your cream of the crop in the NFL. Russell Wilson consistently one of the most
I think I had Rodgers, but I could see it. I had Mahomes. Then I had the next guys was Wilson, Jackson. I think I had Wilson 2, Jackson 3. Oh, he got Rodgers on there. Rodgers, and I had Brady. So I didn't have 4 guys instead of, I didn't have Breeze and Watson on that tier. I just think if you look at the numbers, even the last couple of years, like Breeze, I watched the playoff game, every playoff game. So I don't know. I'm just saying. I think Drew Brees is great for sure, but I think he more top 7 than top 5. But that's just me. I think a lot of his yards is after the a lot of his passes after the catch. Not much throwing down the field. I don't think. Deshaun Watson don't have the same. Well, he got his receivers was good with Hopkins, but they just need to stay on the field with Hopkins, Fuller, and Kenny Stills. But they're not on the level of I mean Hopkins is, but he's not consistent as Michael Thomas was with the intermediate routes. But I do got Hopkins rank ahead of him. But I'm just saying we got to be consistent though. Like he was consistently as far as receptions. Michael Thomas had to lead receptions and yards.
underrated players in the league, arguably the second best quarterback in football.
I think Brady. I don't mind him having 5 people on there. I think he should add Brady on 6. Superstar. He still could be a superstar. He's almost too old. Like he's the same age as Breeze almost, basically.
Rodgers, the only person on your screen right now that has multiple league MVPs. Lamar, the youngest player to ever win league MVP, coming off an almost perfect regular season. Drew Brees, the all-time leader in basically everything.
Yep.
And Deshaun Watson, the only player.
You can keep Breeze there. I'm not gonna say who top 5. I was thinking having 4 people on that superstar list, but I guess Breeze still a superstar even if I say he top 7. So I agree. I mean it ain't bad so far with Mahomes. Then the next tier Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Drew Brees, and Deshaun Watson. I would add Tom Brady on there for sure though. Like you gotta look about who did he really have to throw to.
With multiple NFL history, 25 touchdown, 5 rushing touchdown seasons, and I understand while people might have some skepticism with Deshaun.
Yeah, it's only his second. They're talking about Deshaun. I thought he was talking about Lamar Jackson. My bad. I was about to say like Lamar Jackson had some hiccups in the playoff, but it's only his second playoff game. He's young still. Like everybody have him. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, everybody.
This is an eye test thing for me. You watch Deshaun Watson, you know he's a superstar. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I agree.
Oh, you would rather have him than everyone whose name is yet to be revealed. So for me, Kevin Wilds, these are your 6 best quarterbacks in the world.
Except for Tom Brady.
By a pretty decent margin.
Yeah, Nick, I'll just say that I love when you do these lists. I think it's smart. I think it's good for the show. I just don't want to. We're early in the show, so I don't want to have to break the segment. But I feel like there's a graphic mistake because you had Mahomes instead of Brady at the top. So I don't know if we want to.
No, I don't agree. Brady not on Mahomes level right now, but I think he in that next superstar tier. But Mahomes in a class of his own, man. Like, the way he could throw the ball. Of course, Aaron Rodgers, 2010 to like 2016, 2015, Aaron Rodgers was up there in that GOAT status. Wilson, to me, always was a superstar. I never thought GOAT status. Or Lamar Jackson. Drew Brees, maybe when he was competing with Peyton Manning and all of them when they was still in the league. Brees, but right now, no. I think Mahomes is in a class of his own at quarterback. Lamar Jackson MVP. Aaron Rodgers won 12 games and had a bye week with a team that wasn't even supposed to be. They were supposed to be like in rebuild mode this year. Same thing with Russell Wilson. The Seahawks wasn't supposed to do what they did. They made it to this the NFC divisional round against the Packers in Green Bay. Deshaun Watson, offensive line is not good, but we already know he's a winner, bro. And then Drew Brees. Drew Brees is Drew Brees.
Redo it or
we'll
restart
get to
it.
Brady. Listen, we don't. I think we can keep going. And I'm very curious Brian's take on this, but we'll get to Brady eventually, Wilds. Don't worry. But where do you come out on this, B?
Well, you know what? I have to start at the top, and I certainly think Patrick Mahomes is the most talented.
This is Brian. I think this is Brian Westbrook, the running back that played for the Eagles, and I think he played for the Redskins, I think too. But y'all remember him, man? He played with Donovan McNabb, and I think he was on that team that went to the Super Bowl. If I'm not mistaken. But I didn't do no research. I just started the video. I didn't even know he was on here. I just said, quarterback tiers. I can talk about that.
Quarterback that we have in our league right now. But when you start talking about GOAT status, that's an end of the career type of thing. And we don't know what's going to happen in Kansas City as far as is going to be any injuries. Will Patrick Mahomes got hurt like he did this?
Yeah, I mean, Westbrook, I respect Westbrook. He was a great running back in his time, but I'm talking about, like, he keeps saying that the Chiefs get hurt. Like, Mahomes still going to, I'm just saying, like, you can't predict injuries. Nick Wright can't predict what's going to happen this year.
This year, he came back very quickly. But will we get injuries to Tyreek Hill? Will we get injuries to Travis Kelce? All those types of things play into quarterbacks and their status. And so put him at the GOAT status, I think that's a little bit high. I certainly think that he's a superstar. The greatest of all time seems to be a little bit high. The other thing that I probably would take a little bit of exception with is Drew Brees. And I think Drew Brees is awesome. I think his career stats are unbelievable. But at this point in his career, is he really still a superstar? When you look at last year,
I get what he's saying. He's about to talk about the last year in the playoffs and everything. They should have beat the Vikings, man. I'm not hating. I love Dalvin Cook. He's one of my favorite players. I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. I like Kirk Cousins. So I ain't gonna say the big fan, but I respect Kirk Cousins. I don't get the hate with him. He made the throws he needed to make it. Then Rudolph was one of my favorite tight ends. And then they got Stephon Diggs and Thielen. I know that, but they was not supposed to beat. The Saints was not supposed to lose that game.
he missed a bunch of games, less than 3,000 yards total passing. In 2018, missed a few games there, less than 4,000 yards passing. Is he still a superstar? You know, the last time they played in the playoffs this year, they got beaten wild card weekend versus the Vikings. You know, Drew Brees being considered one of the best ever, and I still think he is one of the.
Yeah, Drew Brees. I think I got him 8 for 9. No, I got him 8th all time. So he's still, I think, highly of Drew Brees for sure.
The best ever. I'm not sure that he's still a superstar at this point in his career. When you look back through the losses, especially in the playoffs, those things come to mind. 2018, they lost in the conference championship game to the Rams in overtime. 2000.
That's not fair, bro. That's not. We already know what happened, bro. The pass interference call. And then you can't tell me that Belichick would have shut the Saints down to 3 points like they did the Rams. Jared Goff just didn't have enough experience. Shout out to Jared Goff, but I think he was a top 15 quarterback that year. But see what happened once Gurley, he didn't have Gurley as much. And then I think they lost. Who did they lose? They lost a key player, wide receiver. I forgot. I think it was Brandon Cooks or something. And they lost him, and see what he did. Like Goff was one of the bottom 10 this year quarterbacks. So it do matter who you got around you. I'm just saying.
17, they lost in the divisional round to the Vikings. I think one thing you can ask yourself right now in this list, these first two tiers, is Drew Brees still a superstar in our league? If you didn't look at his career numbers, would you still consider?
It's a legitimate question because I think I don't know. I just think I think Brady. You got to think about who they had. I mean, they play in the dome 8 times a year, and Alvin Kamara is way better than, I don't care what nobody say, he's way better than James Wright and Sonny Michel. And then they wide receivers was like Hogan, and who was the other receivers? Hogan, Edelman that was injured. Like none of them on Michael Thomas level, bro. Not even close. And then whoever their tight end was this year ain't nowhere near Jared Cook. Like Jared Cook is top 10 tight end. Michael Thomas is a top 5 receiver, and Alvin Kamara is a top 10 running back. So Brees had more help around him. But I'm not saying he's not a superstar. But I'm thinking if you're gonna put Brees on there, you got to put Tom Brady on there.
Consider him that.
Brian's fired up. We got like 6 more tiers left to go, Brian, so save it. Here we go. We got to keep going. Next up, Nick, you got your franchise quarterback.
Franchise quarterbacks. Good to see my Lions on there, but I don't know. I'm not saying Stafford bad. I'm just saying, I don't know. I talk about it. I will see what they say about it. But he got Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, I have no problem with him being franchise quarterback. He just got to stop getting hurt. He got to stay healthy, man. But we already know what Wentz can do, man. I think he had 2 seasons where he only had 7 interceptions. Matt Ryan, I got him on my top 25 all time. You look at what he's done, no matter what nobody say, he got help and all that, but the numbers speak for itself. He won a league MVP too. Matt Ryan, I think they're gonna do good this year with Todd Gurley. Then Dak Prescott, I don't mind that. 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and then the Cowboys made the playoffs. I think they won the playoff game too. Kirk Cousins, don't have a problem with that. He took his team to the playoffs and he made the key throws. The throw to Thielen down the field to the 3-yard line, and then the great throw to Rudolph in the corner, the end zone to beat the Saints. Like, no matter how you feel about Kirk Cousins, you gotta give him his props. He didn't play bad against San Francisco. I think it was just that they was just so athletic. I mean, he's not really an athletic quarterback. And I knew that was gonna happen. I knew the Vikings ain't have a chance. I knew the Vikings ain't have a chance against San Francisco. San Francisco was the second best team in the league, like hands down, no matter what. Like if they played anybody else in the Super Bowl, they would have won, probably in a blowout, bro. That's how good the 49ers were. And then Matthew Stafford with the Lions. I mean, he's consistent with the yards and stuff and everything. I don't know. I just think it's the organization, honestly.
So take a look at this. You got Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, and then you got Matthew Stafford there rounding out the list. Nick, talk us through it.
All right, well, quickly in response to Brian's point, I would agree that of all the quarterbacks on the superstars tier, the one most likely to drop this year into the franchise quarterbacks tier is Drew Brees, for the reasons you laid out.
Yeah. I mean, so he can't have a franchise quarterback superstar and GOAT status category. Well, I guess the GOAT status superstars and franchise quarterback. You can have both of these, and then you can have both of these tiers and then have a too old category, because that means Breeze, a franchise quarterback, is somebody that's going to be there for at least the next 5 or 6 years, and Breeze not playing 5 or 6 more years, or Tom Brady. But I think he shouldn't do the too old thing. I don't think that matter. You can say like either you're good or you're not, and we going by year. So franchise quarterback, that's not really a good word for it. I think he just put like good quarterbacks. He's a good quarterback. Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Matt Ryan, and Wentz. These like the range from just like the 7th or 8th best quarterbacks all the way to like the 7 through 13 range, 7 through 15 range. That's still a good quarterback view, top half of the leading quarterbacks. And then I think he got to cut like 3 more categories after this.
Because of the age. But on the franchise quarterbacks tier, these are guys that if you have them, you hold on to them. But in order to win a championship with them, you need everything to go right. You don't necessarily need everything to go right, but you need them to be playing their best ball, and you need a really good team around.
Okay, I see what he's saying. Because my Lions made it to 3 playoffs, and all 3 years we had Calvin Johnson. That's what he's saying. We had Calvin Johnson. We had some great play. We had Reggie Bush. I think we had Reggie Bush one of those years. The year we lost to the Saints, I think. Then we had Golden Tate. He was a beast. He was actually better. He was way better with Detroit than he was with Seattle. Who else we have? What's his name? Riddick out the backfield. I'm just saying Matthew Stafford had a lot of help, and the Sue was on defense. And then Kirk Cousins, like he had Dalvin Cook, Thielen, Stephon Diggs, Rudolph, and then the running backs was pretty good, man. It was Cook, and then what's the other dude named the rookie with the dreads? So he was good. He was good. I forgot his name. I can't think of his name, but they had some good running backs. Minnesota Vikings, they had a good. You got a top 10 tight end. Thielen and Diggs, I say top 15 receivers, both of them. Then Dak, we already know Dak has Zeke. Zeke is top five running back. Amari Cooper, top 10 to 12 receivers in the league in that range. Matt Ryan had Julio Jones, a top 5 receiver. Then he had Devontae Adams, even though he was hurt. But this is throughout his career too. He had Roddy White. Roddy White was better than Julio Jones for like a couple years. I got Julio on my top 10 though. And then Carson Wentz. We already know the Eagles got the best team on paper. Like they got the best. They probably got the best front 7 offensive. They got a top 5 front 7, top 5 offensive line, and then they really don't need a great secondary because they front 7 so good. But he had some good receivers too. Even though this year they got hurt, that's why I think Wentz is the franchise quarterback, because he played this year. They barely even had good players. I think they had none of their players got over 500 yards receiving, and they still went 9-7 or something and made the playoffs.
At Carson Wentz, we saw his team win a championship when the offensive line was A+, when the defensive line was the best in the league, and then he obviously got hurt at the end of that year. Matt Ryan, he came close when they had a top 8 all-time offense. I'll get more on Dak in a moment. Kirk Cousins has played at a level over the last 5 years. He has to be on this tier. Stafford's the most questionable, but he's got the second most yards passing per game in the history of the league.
He is putting up numbers. You gotta give him that.
Consistently performs. He's probably the most borderline. And then there's Dak, and this is the conundrum. While
He's borderline, but it's a team sport. Football is a team sport, man. You had a quarterback. Ain't no quarterback winning without being able to hand the ball off or throw screen passes or have a decent tight end for the red zone or a deep threat like a Chris Godwin or like what's his name, Brandon Cooks or Kenny Stills. Like you need all the players to come together, special teams, everything, coaching. That's why I'm not thinking about how many rings somebody won or something. Like Stafford, he won enough to be on there.
for the Cowboys, as far as how much is he worth, he wants to get paid like he's 1 or 2 tiers above where he actually is. But if you don't pay him and you lose him, you end up being in nowheresville with quarterbacks. So these are the trickiest guys. You have them, you want to keep them Wilds, but you're not fully satisfied because they're not quite the superstars that almost all.
Right, so that's why I was questioning because they franchise quarterbacks, like we got them, we keep them, like you said. We can't get nobody better, you just keep them. So Stafford, Cousins, Dak, Ryan, and Wentz. I guess even you can put Brady and Breeze in this category. Honestly, I'm putting Breeze, Deshaun Watson, not superstar. I put them franchise quarterbacks because Mahomes, well, he got a championship and MVP. Wilson got one. Rodgers got one. Lamar Jackson won MVP, and I think superstars should just be Wilson, Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, and Brady. Then I think Breeze and Watson should move down with Stafford, Cousins, Dak, Ryan, and Wentz. You could be in the same category and same tier and still be better than somebody. Like Breeze and Watson to be at the top of this tier right here. And then I go Wentz. I don't know what order this is, but I probably do go Wentz first. Then Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan's still a better quarterback than. Then I go Cousins, then Stafford, then Dak probably. No disrespect to Dak, but I think Stafford and Cousins better. Well, I know Cousins better for sure, but.
All of them demand to be paid like Kevin.
Like Brian, I wonder if this list would move if these guys won a Super Bowl, if they were on the field when the confetti was coming down. Like I wonder if Nick, if that would be the game that forces them up, or are they just kind of like relegated there forever?
I think any of these guys. I'm sorry to interrupt, Brian. I think any of these guys could move up, but right now they haven't done it. And so right now I think everyone above them, Brian Westbrook, is clearly a better player than the guys on this level. And all those guys, Brian, you could argue about the order, but to me they're all grouped together.
The one part that I would argue, as far as this year coming, I would say that Carson Wentz, when the Eagles drafts a few more weapons for him, could land himself in the superstar area. We saw.
I agree with that.
What he's able to do the last 4 games of the season, where he was able to lead that football team. And I think the Eagles have done a pretty decent job of getting rid of some of the older leaders that they had on that football team these last few years. And now Carson Wentz is the sole leader of this team. You add some weapons in the draft, maybe a couple of wide receivers in free agency. And I think Carson Wentz is able to take that leap from a franchise quarterback, which I think at this point he certainly is, to possibly a superstar if he can win some football games and be healthy for the entire season.
So what's a notch below franchise quarterback?
All right, now I'm gonna split the video. It takes forever to upload when it's like over 20 minutes. Really, anything over 5 minutes take a long time, or 7 minutes. But that's it. I think Wright Goat. He got the GOAT status category. I wouldn't say GOAT status. I just say tier 1. I just say the best quarterback in the NFL is Mahomes, and then you got the next level superstars. He got Wilson, Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Breeze, and Watson. I would put Brady in there. And I honestly would move maybe Watson. Watson is like a franchise quarterback, but I'd take Watson and Breeze. I just don't think it's that many superstars in the league. I have Wilson, Rodgers, Jackson, and Brady. And then I move Breeze and Watson down with Stafford, Cousins, Dak Prescott, Ryan, and Wentz. Because just we talking about right now. Watson has some inconsistencies and Breeze in the playoffs, but that's it, y'all. That's part 1. I'm going to continue it on part 2.